pasó?
Oaxaca City. We have checked in our Airbnb. We have a nice terrace in this little house. A little bit, not really in the center, but it's about 15 minutes from the center by foot, with this view on the mountains behind, and it's really warm. This is the inside of the Airbnb. We have a little corner here. Then we have our bedroom here with the bathroom, and on this side we have a little kitchenette, which is very practical, small but compact and practical. And out there we have a laundry center, and Fritjof is already
I need your help. I don't know.
Preparing this.
I think it's normal, regular what you put. I don't know. Romeo, Experimento.
Anyway, I'm gonna help him, and then we start discovering Oaxaca City. Good morning, day 2 in Oaxaca City. Last night, after checking in our Airbnb, which is on this street, we really couldn't film more because it started raining, cats and dogs, and so we had to run for some dinner and run back.
The water was running through my shoes.
Yeah, Fritjof's shoes got a little wet, so we had to use the hair dryer to dry them this morning. So now we're heading to Oaxaca City Center to get some breakfast because we didn't have time to do supermarket yesterday.
We found our breakfast place called Cafe Oaxaca, and this is a delicious chicken sandwich with cheese, granola, green tea, white tea, everything that we love. And then we will explore the city. The city center of Oaxaca City, or Oaxaca Juarez, how it's often also called, is actually Unesco World Cultural Heritage. And you can see it, all these old, colorful colonial buildings are really beautiful. And Volkswagen has a factory, or had and still has a factory in Puebla. That was the village where we have been before, or the city, I have to say. And behind me you can see this old Beetle Volkswagen, which has a very beautiful reddish color but has suffered a lot. And actually I grew up in a car like this. My mother had one in a very, very bright red. We are now in the Cathedral of Puebla, and there's just happening a mass in the background, and the intensity of the frankincense smell in here is overwhelming. Reminds me of my old times in the church. I have been raised actually very strictly Catholic. So just behind me on the Zocalo of Oaxaca, you could see all these dancing formation. There were these guys in the traditional outfit, and another another formation with the knives dancing and performing, and then the woman with the beautiful traditional dresses. And when we were standing there and observing this, there were people walking around and collecting money from us for the earthquake victims to support them. And actually behind me here on the Zocalo, there's also a protest camp for some people who got who got killed, or who lost their land. Actually, it's a very colorful combination of demonstration, of selling souvenirs to the tourists, of people sitting in street cafes enjoying their coffee, and this dancing performance, a band playing music. It's a very, very mixed and turbulent square actually. Now we are heading to the next cathedral. This is a temple de Compañía de Jesus, or the church. Very simple, but yet still very beautiful church. And offshore Oaxaca, actually that's close to Zipolito or Mazunte, which is approximately 150 kilometers from here, there are several tectonic plates in the sea, which are always pushing against the plate where we are actually on right now, and which are causing all these earthquakes. And also the earthquake which happened last week in Mexico, the very devastating one. And actually there are like also places on the other side, and when that strong earthquake happened in Mexico City, there were two earthquakes hitting at the same time, and that's why it was shaking also so strong in Mexico City. Here in Oaxaca City, where actually the epicentrum is of most of the earthquakes, we just had in the last 24 hours we had like 3 earthquakes. One was 6.1, but we couldn't really feel it or did not wake up from them. Most of the earthquakes happening. In this beautiful old colonial building with this stunning courtyard is the MACO, the Museum of Contemporary Art, de Oaxaca. And today is Sunday, so entrance isn't free, and we are just exploring the exhibition. Church of Santo Domingo, which is actually also a convento, which is behind it. The church is one of the most impressive ones of Oaxaca City, and inside it has a lot of Baroque carvings and reliefs, and also on the stone facade you will see a lot of Baroque carvings into the stone. In the middle of the facade, or in the center actually of the facade, you see 2 monks holding a church in their hand, and actually the right one is the Spanish monk Santo Domingo de Guzman, who founded the Dominicaner convento, protecting the church. You can see this Baroque altar covered in gold with the Baroque cupola with the ceiling, tons of gold, and then to the right side there's another big golden altar Museo de las Culturas de Oaxacas. I hope I said the name right. And this is located directly next to the Templo de Compañía, the church of the Dominicans, which we just showed you before. And this museum features all the different periods of the Oaxacan time in several different rooms of this beautiful convento. When you enter this museum, you will see a stunning courtyard, which is mind-blowing actually. And the highlight of this museum is a Mixtec treasure, which they found actually in the Mount Alban grave, where one king of the Mixtecs was buried, and also his servants actually. And within the grave there were a lot of treasures like gold, silver, glasses, ceramics, precious stones, etc. And right behind this museum is a beautiful botanical garden where you see all the plants which grow within the Oaxacan area. And in this garden you only have access with a tour guide. And there are different tours offered with in different languages: French language, English and Spanish. And you just saw in the pictures before, stunning.
So this was day 2 in Oaxaca City. We have been visiting the historical center with Zocalo and the churches and the convent and the museum, the regional museum of Oaxaca. Definitely recommendable. Oaxaca is a very dynamic little city, not many inhabitants here, less than 1 million, and has loads of cafes, restaurants, art galleries, small streets. It's like a perfect hipster town, but really, really beautiful historical heritage, UNESCO heritage, the city center. So put this on your list, definitely. This was the way we saw it day 2 in Oaxaca City. Thank you for watching. Subscribe here for future episodes, and Google will suggest a suitable video for you here. Safe travels always.